Mr. Happy Living here, and I'm happy to be broadcasting from WITV7 in the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. My friends, will you join me for just a moment and imagine how amazing you'd feel living the unique and distinct life that you were put on this planet to live, doing work you love, with people you love and places you love, and all the while creating something of real value to others. Well, that's what I call a life of significance, and I can tell you it makes a very happy life. And so can my friend Stephanie Dunne. Stephanie first joined us 10 years ago when I interviewed her in print. Today she returns in person, not to revisit who she was, but to discover who she's become. Because it's been said, no one ever steps into the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and they are not the same person. And this is our first step into the River series. So before we bring her on, I'd like to share a poem that we created to thank her for being our guest star today. We call it Returning to the River Within, and it goes like this. Some lives are shaped by what we do, by plans that promise where we'll go. But somewhere past the noise and pace, a deeper current starts to flow. And Stephanie felt that current too, not loud, but steady and true. A whisper from within her soul saying, "Come home, I'm missing you." She stepped beyond the measured world where answers lived in charts and lines and found wisdom quiet and deep written in the body's signs. Now she reminds us ever gently as we rush from day to day, you don't need fixing to be whole. You haven't lost your way. So if you're standing at the river's edge, unsure of where it bends, lean in close, stay with us now. This is where your return begins. Because returning to the river within is not some distant role. It's the quiet, sacred surrender that leads you back to your soul. Hey, Stephanie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Matt. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, get us started by telling us what you're doing these days to make your mark of significance on the world.
Yes, thank you so much for having me and giving me this opportunity to talk about the work that I'm doing. So I am a dietitian and a nutrition health coach. And I run my business, which is called Feed Your Intention, that is meant to help women nourish their wellness and reclaim their inherent wholeness. And you mentioned doing work that you love with people that you love. And I absolutely love the women that I work with. They are smart and capable and health literate, but they are exhausted by noise and
Mm,
misinformation, and they are frustrated and confused by their changing bodies. And I love helping these women
mm.
understand their bodies, learn how to listen to their bodies, and really move them forward on their health and wellness journey.
Very good. And so you do one-on-one coaching and you also have a body reset program. Is that like an online version of the one-on-one coaching?
Sure is. So I actually provide information to women in any way I possibly can because I just love helping as many women as possible. So I do one-on-one sessions with people who are really looking for that personalized approach because really,
Mhm.
when it comes down to it, all of us have a unique body, and the right answer for me is not going to be the right answer for someone else. And so I help women one on one figure out exactly what those pieces are for themselves. And then I have my body reset, which is an 8-week program, and it's currently offered as a group cohort that really brings the most foundational pieces to a group setting so that people still have access to me somewhat one-on-one, but they get the benefit of it being in a group environment. So all of the participants support each other. I also provide written like downloads that people can get if they're just looking for some advice and some direction on a specific area. And of course, I have free resources because I can't help myself but to share nutrition information in any way that I can, so that the people who need it can get their hands on it.
And then tell us about what is this reframing wellness from fixing to nourishing? This idea that you don't need fixing, you need more nourishment. So tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think I, I mean, I can't speak from a man's perspective, but certainly as women, I feel like we've been given this message so many times that broken in some way, right? That our bodies are broken, that if we aren't, um, if our body doesn't function the same way it did 20 years ago, that something is broken, and it's not, right? Our bodies
Mm,
are communicating. That is what symptoms are, is a form of communication. And so
mm,
what our bodies are telling us when these symptoms show up, when the things we've always done are no longer working, our bodies are communicating that something is out of balance. And what we really need is to be nurtured. We need to nurture
mm.
ourselves. Women are so good at nurturing everyone and everything
Yeah.
around them, whether it's their jobs, their partners, their kids, their parents, their pets, their gardens, even, but really nurturing ourselves and nourishing ourselves so that our bodies are getting the support that we need in order to really be well. And I don't just mean like, physically strong, lifting weights or whatever your ideal body shape is for you, but also in your spirit and in your mind and in your
Mhm.
emotions, that we have wellness in totality throughout our entire beings.
Yeah, very good. All right, Stephanie, before we move along, please tell us about your beautiful family.
I have I am recently divorced, so my family got a little
Oh,
bit smaller, but I have an absolutely delightful 8-year-old who is just, um, I think most moms say this. She's just the light of my life. But more than that, she was such a catalyst for the most recent transformations that I have been through. She's smart as a whip. I get told all the time or asked all the time, like, is she a genius? And I'm like, I don't know, but she keeps me on my toes. That much
mhm.
I know. And we just have just so much fun playing together and creating stories and just enjoying being with each other. It's just so much fun.
Oh, very good. All right, Stephanie, now let's do a little mathematics so our friends all
Let's do
around the
it.
world can get to know you through our happy formula. It's really
Perfect.
simple, but it's super powerful, and it goes like this. Power plus purpose equals happy. So let's start with
Great.
power. What are your personal practices for building up all the power that you need to get things done, whether it's physically, mentally, financially, spiritually, or emotionally? In other words, Stephanie, what do you do on a regular basis to create the power you need to take really good care of yourself and your loved ones and still have something left over so you can be a giver to others?
Yeah, I think the majority of my power comes from two things that I do. And the first one is I am in a constant quest for knowledge and understanding. I am
Mm,
constantly seeking out not just new information, but also new ways of understanding myself, understanding those around me, even understanding the environment that I'm in. And
mm,
then I am very open to change and transformation, which is kind of weird because I'm a Taurus. That's my zodiac sign. And Taurus is supposedly like hate change, but I'm so open to change because I feel like you mentioned the river, right? The river is not the same and the person is not the same. And I have taken that to heart so much that I'm constantly changing whether I want to or not. And so being
yeah.
open to that change and learning how to apply my knowledge, my information, my intuition to that change so that I can ultimately move toward whatever is next on my journey or the next goal that I have.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier with your clients, we are going to change our bodies, our experience, everything changes. And I think so much of anxiety and frustration and unhappiness comes from trying to cling to what was instead of embracing what's in front of us.
That's exactly right. Like I think about my evolution just as a human, right? Like I started off with a career in telecommunications and was a Lean Six Sigma black belt and did all of I have a math degree, right? So I'm a natural problem solver. And then I went into software. And then like I did Ironman triathlons and marathons and whatever for a while. And then I worked full time and earned my master's degree. And I became a mom when I was 41, which was a whole just
Ah,
mind-blowing experience. And then I went through menopause a year ago. And it's just through all of these phases, my body has needed and wanted different things. And so listening is what has allowed me to get to this point, still feeling strong and capable and well, even as the body has changed and the environment has changed around me.
yeah, very good. All right, Stephanie, let's discuss my favorite power generating concept. It's called a Kaizen state of mind. And it's this beautiful Japanese idea that small incremental improvements add up over time to yield great big results. It's all about mindset, not circumstance. Kaizening life is knowing I can always do something better tomorrow than today, and it creates a gentle, relentless, never-ending power that keeps lifting me higher day after day after day. So, Stephanie, how does Kaizening your life help you increase your power to continuously become more so you can continue giving more and impacting even more lives?
Absolutely. I love the Kaizen philosophy. It was introduced to me, as I mentioned, in my first career as a Lean Six Sigma black belt, because that small continuous improvement is part of that philosophy. But I've really carried it forward way more into my personal life and certainly into the work that I do now. So, my approach for my own wellness and as well for all of my clients is small incremental changes, because research has shown
Hmm.
that big overhauls, they don't stick. Like, nobody wants to count calories for more than like 2 days. Like, no one. Nobody's going to eat 100 grams of protein every single day if they're not used to that. And so I help women, same as I help myself, find what is that next step that is going to
Hmm.
move us towards our health and wellness goals. Like, what I do now in menopause is different than it was before. And my last year in perimenopause was like so rough. I had no energy. I was taking naps. I had crazy brain fog. Muscle was literally like evaporating overnight. Like, I don't even know where it was going. And so I had to learn a whole new way of helping this body, but I had to do it in little increments, because
Hmm.
it would not have been self-caring of me to try to beat my body into submission. It doesn't want that. It wants to be nourished, and it wants to be nurtured, and it wants to be cared for. And by doing little things, by adjusting my food, by taking self-care very seriously, by not
Hmm.
compromising on sleep, like it's no longer an option, I've been able to continue moving my health forward. And that's what I help my clients do also, with whatever it is in that moment that's their biggest concern, whether it's allergies or blood cholesterol, right? We address the biggest problem so that we, in a small way, so that we can keep moving us towards our health and wellness that we want.
Yeah. And I've thought about Kaizen a lot. Like you, I've embraced it in every aspect of my life and business. And I've added something to it called Kaizen and hold. So if you bring something new into your life and it continues serving you, hold on
Mm.
to it for dear life. Do not give it back. If you've lost 5 pounds and that was a goal of yours, do not give it back. If you've, changed this thing in your diet and it's serving you, hold on for dear life and then take the next little incremental step.
That's exactly right. Like, I've done that. I can think of two examples where I've done that. The first one was when I realized the connection between gluten intake and autoimmune disease. Like, I didn't know they were connected until I did further certifications. I didn't learn that in grad school, which is bizarre to me. But anyway, once I learned that and I took that gluten out, like, it is amazing to me that I can manage my psoriasis quite easily now. And the second big one was when I
Mm,
realized that, especially in perimenopause, alcohol is like not my friend, like just
mm.
physically, emotionally. When I took it out, I tell you that, like, every once in a while I'm like, but can't I just have like one, you know? And then I'm like, no, Stephanie, you can't. You want to
Yeah,
sleep tonight. You are
yeah.
gonna like stick with this thing that you know works for the body that you have now, especially when I know having that thing isn't gonna like, it's not gonna bring me enough pleasure compared to the impact it's gonna have on me, you know?
Well, I almost mentioned it with menopause, but now with no alcohol, you're really making me thank goodness that I'm a man.
Well, I tell you, I'm not saying there aren't benefits to being a man, but after having my child, the way I was broken open in a way that I
Mm,
never anticipated, and my understanding of and compassion for women, like, I think for the first time in my life, I am
mm,
so proud to be a woman. I love the role
that's
that
great.
men play in our society and in our world, but like, as a woman, the nurturing and the compassion, the intuition, the care, the connection that we bring, like, I love my clients. I love the women around me. I just love womankind for the first time, like, in my
That's
life,
great.
because of the world I grew up in, you know?
Oh, that's wonderful. And that's it. I mean, it's really about being authentically who you are. And, born a woman, you're a woman, I'm a man, and that's great. And I was mostly making a joke. We we
Oh,
we, we
totally.
need
Oh, I got
we
that.
need we need both sides. So let's move on to
Absolutely.
purpose. That's the second
Yeah.
that's the second part of our happy formula. And I've observed that major life transformations, those great big discoveries of purpose, often come from devastation. Addiction, abuse, disease, death, disaster, something horrible strips a life to its core, resulting in a big and often unexpected change. However, in my book, Turning Inspiration into Action, I share the transformational process that I've used to discover the purpose of my life using inspiration. So, how about you, Stephanie? Was there a specific moment or event or crisis or inspiration that revealed to you the unique and distinct purpose you were meant to live?
Such a big question, and I have thought about it, and I don't feel like there was one moment. Like I'm one of those people that apparently the universe knows that I need like little nudges along the way. I would say the first one was in about 2009. I had just entered my like 21st year in the telecom industry, and telecom was not doing well. Like it was tanking the way we knew it before. And I suddenly realized that
Mm,
I might not have a job at any given moment. And then my next question was, well, even if they give me a job, do I want it? And I realized that the answer was no, I didn't. And so I went on this real
mm,
journey, soul searching of what do I want to do? And nutrition is the one topic I have cared about since high school when my dad introduced the idea to me. And so that began my shift towards
mm,
the science part of health and wellness, right? Towards the how does food work? How does it impact the body? How do we personalize it to really optimize ourselves? But the second one was, as I mentioned, when I had my kid, I didn't want children growing
mm,
up, like at all. And then my now ex-husband decided
mm.
right after my 40th birthday that he wanted a child. And so we began that process, ended up having her when I was 41. Um, but it changed me in ways I couldn't imagine. And suddenly I realized that I was not as well or as whole as I wanted to be. And so my approach to
Mm,
myself and to my clients really took a massive shift. I still care so much about food and I believe so much in its ability to impact our physiology. But more than that, it became like, how do we become truly well, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and how do we return to the
mhm.
wholeness that I believe we inherently have? And that has become my purpose to offer compassion, connection, validation while helping women along their health and wellness journey to achieve what they deserve and what they want for their own lives and their experience within their own bodies.
Yeah, when you get beyond nutrition to overall health and wellness, it makes me think of a great poem. We're going to have or not poem, a quote. We're going to have a quote section later, but from Michelangelo, who said, "The sculpture is already there in the marble rock. All I have to do is chip away the unnecessary stuff." And
That's
I wonder
exactly
how
right.
much of your healing is just taking away thoughts, culture, food, practices, things that are not serving your clients, rather than becoming more, you're actually just becoming you.
That's exactly what, like, I think that we are all inherently whole and that I think of it, you mentioned that about Michelangelo and the sculpture. It makes perfect sense. I've always thought of it as scaffolding, that I have created all this
Hmm.
scaffolding that I thought I needed in order to support me or hold me up or protect me or whatever. When the
Hmm.
reality was, is that it changed. It didn't change me. It changed how I presented and how I felt. And I'm just trying to get back to who I am and how I believe our bodies want to be in balance, that our bodies want to feel good and strong, and they just need to be supported in that. And if we can give them that support, they will return the support to us by helping us feel good, be strong, be capable, have great lab numbers, poop regularly, all the things that help us actually feel good in our bodies.
Well, I think pooping regularly is a great time for us to take a break, Stephanie. So let's take a commercial break so our sponsor can spread a little love with our audience.
Hey, Charlotte, it's time to get ready. Get set. Let's work. Mark your calendars for April 24th. and join us for WITV7's Financially Lit and Fit Expo. We're bringing together youth innovators, community leaders, sponsors, vendors, and employers for a powerful day of financial literacy, career readiness, and opportunity. Showcase your brand, connect with motivated students, and make an impact that lasts. Don't miss it. Save the date for April 24th. For more information, visit WITV7.org. WITV7 is empowering minds and building futures.
Are you ready to transform your life? At happyliving.com, we've discovered 4 keys to help you live with purpose, joy, and significance. Unlock your truth with the Happy Quiz. Unlock your happy formula with inspiring stories from the Something Significant Show. Unlock your roadmap to happiness with our free ebook, Making Your Mark of Significance. And unlock your inspired life with our life-changing e-course, The Philosophy of You and Your Inspired Life. This is your time to shine. Go to happyliving.com now and click Unlock the Power of You. Unlock your power. Live your best life. happyliving.com.
And we're back, and this is the Something Significant Show, and I'm your host, Matt Gersper, and my special guest star today is Stephanie Dunne, a former corporate strategist and Lean Six Sigma black belt turned integrative dietitian whose journey from high-performance achievement to purpose-driven nourishment reshaped her life. After years optimizing systems and solutions and solving complex problems, Stephanie realized true wellness isn't engineered, it's remembered. Now, through her Feed Your Intention platform, she helps women reconnect with their bodies, restore energy, and reclaim their innate wholeness. Stephanie, I love how you guide women back home to themselves. And I think you're going to love this article that I found. It's called The Science Behind the Power of Giving. It reveals something truly powerful, that the simple act of giving can become a gateway to discovering your reason for being on the planet. Science confirms that when we give our time, talents, and treasure, it doesn't just help others, it transforms us too. Giving helps us rise above obstacles, it helps us find meaning, and it even helps us discover our purpose. So I updated our formula. Power plus purpose plus giving equals really happy. So how about you, Stephanie? Has giving your time, talents, and treasure been a powerful pathway for discovering your purpose and for getting through hardships and for bringing real meaning into your life?
Yeah, it really has. I've been amazed as I've been coming back to work more full time after having a child and having the privilege of taking care of her for a while, that I really love sharing my knowledge and my expertise with people, whether that's one-on-one conversations, officially or unofficially, because of course, I have lots of friends who love to ask me, one-off questions about nutrition or information, whether that's in group programs or whether that's in written resources. I am constantly trying to find ways to share trustworthy and transformative information with women that can help them on their health journey, whether that's helping them with a guide that explains why allergy season is hitting them harder than it ever has, whether it's doing a group program, which is more affordable than working with me one-on-one and also provides that community environment that's so beneficial to lots of women, whether that's just on social media, right? Providing actual helpful information and helpful actions that they can take right then to start to move them along their health journey. And as I'm giving to them, you mentioned it gives back to us. It's amazing how often I remember, oh yeah, I need to have that one extra serving of vegetables today. I need to grab that apple for my snack today instead of rummaging in the pantry So by helping other women on their health journey, they ultimately help me as well because I remember, oh, that's something I need to do. I need to refill that cup one more time today to make sure that I'm being hydrated. So it really is this give and take where by sharing the information that I have gained through all my years of studying and continued studying, that it comes back to me and keeps me moving forward on my health and wellness journey also.
Yeah, very good. So that's it. The science says giving brings meaning to our lives, and the joy that we feel when we're creating value for others confirms it. But there's something deeper at work, Stephanie. I believe the magic of life comes when we're giving from living in our purpose, because that's where joy doesn't just touch the receiver, it flows to the giver too, and even to those witnessing the giving. And something else happens there. It seems that fear loosens its grip, self-focus shrinks, peace grows steadier, and hope grows stronger. And it all comes from aligning with purpose and becoming more so we can give more. So, Stephanie, I'd love our audience to witness what that magic looks like in your life. So sit back, my friend, open your heart and have a listen to what people are saying about the impact that you're making in their lives because you're giving from living in your purpose. One person said, Stephanie's candor and energy brings a breath of fresh air to any endeavor. Another said, Stephanie can always be counted on for offering another way to look at it. And another said, the most succinct thing I can say about Stephanie is I trust her like I would trust myself if I did all the research. She doesn't put anything forward she doesn't believe and hasn't extensively researched deeply. Others said a joy to work with, efficient and energetic, very pleasant and professional, attentive to details, with the ability to acquire, manage, and analyze complex data sets. She has integrity and zeal. I would welcome any opportunity to work with her in the future. And finally, this person said simply, in a space that is loaded with influencers peddling whatever people will pay for, Stephanie's approach is priceless. So, Stephanie, how does all that incredible love make you feel?
I did not expect to cry today, I'll be honest about that, but that is that really means a lot. Thank you so much for that. That's such a kind thing that you just did for me. Genuinely.
Well, and that's it, folks. What you see in Stephanie's reaction, that's what this show is all about. We're here, Stephanie, me, and all our guest stars, to encourage you, our listeners, to find that same magic in your life, because it's available to you. It's available to everyone, and it comes from this great big happy circle. Giving your time, talents, and treasure is a powerful pathway for discovering purpose. And then giving from living in your purpose brings deep joy to you, as you can see from Stephanie, and to those around you too. So it seems that giving leads to purpose and giving from purpose leads to joy. So Stephanie, and I'm a little nervous about this because you told me you studied math and you're this brilliant math person, but to fully capture the exponential power of our happy formula, I'm going to tweak it just a tiny bit more. To power times purpose times giving equals happy to the third power, and that's really, truly, deeply happy. Does that sound about right to you?
Sounds mathematically perfect.
Very good. Let's wrap things up with a lightning round. I love the power of words and how the right quote can meet us in moments of reflection or right at the edge of change. As I prepared today, a few surfaced, not just because they're beautiful, but because they reflect your journey. So I want to read each one and ask you to share the first thoughts that come to your mind. No rehearsing, just the truth. And are you ready to go?
Absolutely, I'm ready.
The first one comes from an unknown author to me. And they said, it's impossible, said pride. It's risky, said experience. It's pointless, said reason. Give it a try, whispered the heart.
I think so often on a wellness journey, people start to feel like it's really impossible to achieve whatever it is they want for their body, for their experience, for their wellness journey. And I love that it comes back to the heart saying, give it a try, because I truly believe that we are meant to have what we want within our bodies, within our lives. We just have to be brave enough to sometimes take that first step.
Yeah. I think also people, you spend a lifetime with your body falling apart or whatever you're trying to fix falling apart. and then you decide you want to fix it and you want instant results. But no,
Yes.
it's going to take that same time and energy and focus to change. And I think we get a little impatient sometimes.
Oh, for sure. Aren't we all impatient, especially in this day and age, and we can have things that Amazon
Yeah.
can't deliver, muscles to us, unfortunately. Well, not ones we can use anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Not yet. Okay, this comes from William Carey. He said, I'm not afraid of failure. I'm afraid of succeeding at things that don't matter.
Oh, wow. That's honestly the reason I left the telecom industry. I was very successful. I was, had the opportunity for another promotion. I was well liked and respected, and I was good at what I did because I love solving problems. And I realized it didn't matter. Like, I didn't want to make money for telecom executives, which is what I was
Mhm.
doing. And I was really good at what I did, but I was like, I really want to make a difference to the world. And I didn't know if
Mhm.
I would be any good at this. Some days, if I'm being honest, I still don't know, because I don't know that I have all the answers for everybody, but I know that whoever I work with, I'm going to give it 150%, 1050%. That's bad math, by the way, to help them achieve their goals and to support them
Mhm.
as best I possibly can. And that's where
Mhm.
the success for me is, even just in witnessing their journey and
Yeah.
helping them however I can.
Yeah, very good. This is from the great Albert Einstein, who said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Uh, Especially in this space, as women head into perimenopause and menopause in particular, the thing I hear over and over is, my body's not responding like it used to,
Mhm.
or my cholesterol is high for the first time ever in my life, or my blood sugar is high for the first time ever in my life, or I can't sleep anymore and I used to sleep like a baby. And we think we should be able to go back and do those things. Now, that's not just thinking, that's physiology. That's the
Yep.
body actually changing. But we do have to shift our thinking to understand that what our bodies need now is different than what we needed 20 years ago, maybe even 2 years ago, depending on
Yep.
where we're at in our lives.
Yep. Yeah, the one thing that I've been thinking about this, I'll be turning 65 this summer. And energy, we start with all this energy and we leave with none of it. And along the way, we do the best we can. And so I started thinking about this idea of as a 65-year-old guy, I'm not going to be able to perform physically like I did when I was playing football back in my early 20s. But
Right.
I came up with this framework of thinking, by putting in energy and effort to sustain what I'm trying to achieve, I'm better than I otherwise would be. So I'm
Absolutely.
not where I was, but I'm better
Yep.
than I otherwise would be for making the effort, for not eating, the bad, for whatever you're working on.
Exactly.
Keep
Yep.
working on it, and maybe lower some expectations, and go for what they say is the process rather than the result, right?
I don't know that I would say lower expectations, but shift them, because I
Yeah.
don't want any of us to feel like we're settling
Yeah.
for less than, or that, our bodies aren't good enough because they aren't what they were when we were in our 20s. Like, I wouldn't trade being in my 20s for anything, not for, and believe me, my body is not the same. I could not go and run a marathon like
Yeah.
anytime soon. I'm not sure I ever could again, but I want to love the body that I have for everything that it has given me
Yeah.
through my entire life, every experience we've had together, and continuing to nourish it so that I can keep doing whatever I can do now, and
Yeah.
hopefully, fingers crossed, just drop dead at the end.
There you go. Well, that leads us pretty good into this next one. It's from Shunryu Suzuki, and he said, "You're perfect just as you are, and you could use a little improvement."
Yes, 100%. I love this quote. Absolutely love it, because I'm an Enneagram 1. And so perfectionism is something that I have struggled with and still struggle with. But I've really come to accept that I am perfectly imperfect with
Yeah.
exactly where I am in this journey. And I'm going to keep moving towards the goals that I have, because for me, that is the human experience, that we are
Yeah.
moving towards wellness and wholeness.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. All right. This is our show anchor. It's from Goth. I've been carrying this one for decades and decades. He says, whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now.
Absolutely. For any women that are listening who are wondering whatever they can do to help them feel better, feel more like themselves, gain more energy, feel stronger. In your mind, I know you're smart and you're capable. Take that one step. Do that one thing that you know would make a difference towards helping you feel better, even if it's drinking one more cup of water or eating one apple today. Like taking that one step moves you towards ultimately what that goal is. And it doesn't have to be earth-shattering or overwhelming. Each step will get you to that finish line.
Yeah, yeah. Wonderful, Stephanie. So these quotes and your responses give voice to the quiet inner knowing, the courage to shift, and the gentle return to wholeness that you bring to your practice. So thank you for sharing your heart and your wisdom with us today. And now, my friends, if Stephanie's story has inspired you, if it lifted your spirit and encouraged you to begin nourishing your own well-being, then I invite you to share that energy with our incredible team at WITV7 who make this show possible. They're a 501c3 charity on a mission to educate, empower, and encourage people in need. Every gift matters, big and small. With your support and their tireless work, lives are being transformed and our circle of love keeps growing. So donate today because it'll do good and it'll make you feel good too. Stephanie, I love the way you've learned to listen, not just to science, but to the quiet wisdom of the body and the soul. And I admire how you're helping others reconnect with who they truly are, guiding them back to their healthiest, most wholesale selves with compassion, clarity, and trust. And I'm super happy that you've shared your grounded, compassionate, and wise spirit on our show today. Will you please take a moment to take any parting remarks you'd like to share with our audience?
Thank you so much for having me today, Matt. I really appreciate it. I just really want everyone to know that even if right now feels frustrating or confusing in your body, that you are not broken. Your body is simply communicating that something is out of balance, especially if you are a woman in perimenopause or menopause. It can be a particularly emotionally hard time for us as our bodies go through this massive shift, but that the good news is it is never too late to feel well again. And with the right support, you can get back to a place of feeling good in your body, to achieving the wellness and the wholeness that you want and that you deserve.
Very good. Thank you, Stephanie. And just one more thing. If you could sit across from the woman you were 10 years ago, what would you say to her?
Oh gosh, I might cry again. I would tell her that she's lovable just as she is. That's been something that I have struggled with, is to believe that I am inherently worthy of love and acceptance. Even sometimes that I'm likable. And I would tell her that she is all of those things.
Very good. Thank you. And friends, it's because of stories like Stephanie's and listeners like you that we've been named one of the top 100 life purpose podcasts worldwide, ranked at number 17. So thank you. I appreciate your support for our mission and for sharing these stories of inspiration and purpose. I also want to thank WITV7 for hosting and promoting our show so we can keep interviewing inspiring guest stars like Stephanie and reaching folks just like you, ready to create your own extraordinary lives. And most especially, thank you, viewers and listeners. If you'd like to learn more about Stephanie Dunne, explore her work, and discover how to reconnect with your body and reclaim your sense of wholeness, you'll find all the links in our show notes. Find Stephanie, explore her work, and take one small step toward nourishing your own well-being. From me to you, dear friends, I love you, and I want you to be really, truly, deeply happy too. So don't miss this. Go to happyliving.com right now on your phone and start at the top, because we've created a place where people begin to believe, where real stories, powerful tools, and a deeper source of purpose all come together to unlock their power. And that's what we want for you. Till next time, I'm Matt Gersper. You are awesome. And this is the Something Significant Show. And we're out.